a patient, for example, has a septic fever and gets admitted in the hospital, right? In the end of 72 hours, patient starts with fever and patient starts coughing. If there is a patch which comes on the X-ray, a patient is admitted for a non-pulmonary cause, gets converted into a pneumonia after 72 hours of admission. He is a hospital acquired pneumonia. The patient is admitted for a dengue or a malaria and develops a lung patch. Again, he is a hospital acquired pneumonia. Right? Why we have to differentiate? Because a community acquired pneumonia is always a gram positive or an atypical, but a hospital acquired can be a gram positive, can be a gram negative, or can be mixed flora. Okay? Clear? Now, very important thing is you must keep this in mind that community acquired pneumonia is always caused by one single agent. Right? If there is one single agent, do we really need to use 2 antibiotics? Do we need to use 2 antibiotics if there is one agent? No, not correct. Right? So that is all. This one is 1. If you are using a very powerful antibiotic, why should I use 2? Okay? So, even with extensive diagnostic techniques, most investigators cannot identify specific etiology, and that is why it has to be empirical therapy, keeping the bugs in mind. Okay. As I told, atypical is, 10 to 20% of the times, the names are Mycoplasma, Chlamydia, Legionella. Right? If your patient comes with cough, right, has fever which is low grade, the patient comes with most of abdominal symptoms, diarrhea, vomiting, giddiness, then that is a systemic manifestation of a pneumonia where probably the likelihood of atypical infections. In streptococcal, it is only the lung symptoms, but when you have generalized symptoms all over the body, it might be an atypical pneumonia where you can think of starting a phenol or a microdome. I hope I'm clear. Now this is very important, very important. Okay, some of the likelihoods of some bacteria in certain conditions. So you should know in which condition which bacteria can cause a pneumonia and accordingly be the selection of an antibiotic. Right? If a patient with dental caries goes to a dentist and has a bad dental caries and comes to you with pneumonia, the sputum is very foul smelling. Okay? 90% of the times it is anaerobic infection. 90% of the time it is anaerobic infection. So the choice of antibiotic goes to metronidazole, right, or tinidazole, right? That metronidazole or tinidazole or whatever your choice is. So very important, if you know the comorbid condition, if you know the history of the patient, you can approach. एमा investigations कराने की जरूरत होती है. Okay? The patient would come to you and the patient would say that the relatives would say, yes sir, most of the times he takes alcohol at night. Right? He takes alcohol at night. Most likely it's a gram negative because due to alcohol, the muscles they become very lax. And when the muscles become lax, there are all chances of getting aspiration during the sleep. The painting and the gram negative bacteria. Our abdomen is most of the gram negative. Right? So he is an alcoholic and is developing, and there the kanamycin would work. Correct? There the kanamycin would work. A gram negative coverage. He is an alcoholic and developing a pneumonia. You give a gram negative coverage. Correct? Right? So that is how. If the patient is a COPD, smoker, okay? He is a classical smoker, and then he comes to you, right, with some infection, then it is 90% of the times a co-amoxicillin works. Because with streptococcal pneumonia, he has 2 organisms, right? An H influenza or a Moraxella filariasis or something like this. No need to memorize all these things. No need to even get a sputum analysis done, right? COPD will give comorbid. The patient should be fine. Right? Alcoholic, I will give an injectable, even a gentamicin for 1. Right? So that is how. A dental caries or hemiparesis, right? Hemiplegia or hemiparesis or every time the patient is not in the hospital, patient is at home only. But they are more likely to have aspiration pneumonia. Aspiration pneumonia anaerobe sleep. So that is how. Okay? If the patient is using IV lines, drug users, dialysis one, right? A patient having a skin disease and develops a pneumonia, then think of staphylococcal auris. So these are the conditions which I am trying to tell you, right? And then you cover a step. Step में cover what you can use a linezolid or whatever you want. Correct? Right? Any doubt in this? I am giving you special condition for special bacteria. Otherwise, 80 to 90% of the time it is streptococcal pneumonia. Yeah? Okay. So what should ideally be a diagnostic workup? Ideally, for you people to know. In a case if you are suspecting a pneumonia. But always, the only thing is X-ray chest. I would still suggest X-ray chest. The patient is not according a total count, not the whole CBC workup also, only the total count. And get a sputum EMT done. You rule out tuberculosis. Once you rule out tuberculosis, you are, the king. You can use the antibiotics as per the protocol. Okay? Yeah. If the patient has a pleural effusion, it is very easy to remove the fluid. You don't have to send the patient to physician. You don't have to send the patient even to us. Right? We can remove blood from the vein. Why can't we remove pleural fluid? Very easy. Ask the sonologist to put in a probe. Tell them where the exact fluid is. Due to blinding, you can catch the pani ka research. I'm sure the physicians of Mudra are going to kill me. But it is very easy to remove a fluid. Right? Okay, it's very easy. And you can send it for analysis. Correct? Okay. There's one thing which I would like to stress upon. If you really think that your patient is not bringing up system and you want to get it done, please take my address from Alpatient Lipogen and for bronchoscopy. That no one does. That I do. Okay, that I do. So if you want your patient who is really very affording and want to come to some conclusion, get a diagnosis done with bronchoscopy, that otherwise is done by chest physicians. Okay? So what are the ideal antibiotics in respiratory tract infection? What's the definition of an ideal respiratory? Okay? Select an antibiotic which is active against most pathogens. As I said, active against most pathogens. Okay? Select which has a minimal side effect. Okay? Minimal side effect. Convenient dosing. Right? Every pneumonia patient probably might not take off from the office. Taking it twice or thrice and dosing it might be difficult. So body dosing probably should help. With that, a microlide and a quinolone is a fantastic selection for you. Okay? And then few or no drug-to-drug interaction. Because your prescription is going to be a cocktail. Your prescription is not going to be only one antibiotic. Right? You are going to give so many other things for the sense of well-being to the patient. I have seen a family physician in Baroda who is even giving injection steroid and oral antibiotic. So that's what I know. It's going to be a cocktail. So see that there is not much side effect. Imagine if you give an oral steroid to a patient, you give an antibiotic to a patient, you are giving antihistaminic to the patient. What is going to happen to the duodenum and the stomach of the patient? The patient will puke out everything. Right? It's going to vomit. Then you are not getting a good absorption of the antibiotics. You see to it that there are very few drug-to-drug interactions. Okay? So what are the treatment we use? They are similar for same. The list is same like a sinus or a pneumonia. Very important is this is a take-home message from my end. A take-home message. Please, monotherapy should always be preferred. No cocktail therapy. Less expensive should be the choice. Please don't go by the pharma companies. Go by the instincts. Okay? Go always by the instincts and the clinical presentation of the patient. Avoid empiric monotherapy. Okay? And prefer monotherapy. Either it should be a levoflox or an azithromycin. A macrolide or a quinolone. This is my choice, but a macrolide or a quinolone. This would be a take-home message from my end. Correct? Right? Now, how do I treat a pneumonia? This is a little bit for the physician, not to go back. Normally, it's again the same, a macrolide and a quinolone, or a combination of a macrolide with a co-oxygen. How long you will treat a pneumonia? Very important is 7 to 10 days. If you are thinking the patient has got other symptoms like diarrhea, vomiting, headache, confusion, and all those things, then patient should be treated. If you are thinking a patient has an atypical infection, then for 14 days. Okay? Quinolone can also be given for 14 days, but no macrolide for 14 days. Clear? Okay? Again, a very important thing that you should know. You must know your limitations. Everyone should know your limitations. Where to put a comma and where to put a full stop in a case of a community acquired pneumonia is very important. I am ready to take a challenge, fine, right? But I am not ready to take a disaster, right? I don't want a catastrophe that I have to be answerable at the end of the day, right? So when would you refer your patient to a physician or to a higher center, which is very important. So this is again a take-home message number 2. Take-home message number 1 is monotherapy of antibiotics for 7 to 10 days. And take-home message for the is criteria for transferring a patient or referring a patient. Okay? Any patient who walks into your OPD has got a pneumonia, his age is more than 60 years. Don't even touch that patient because he might behave very erratic later on. Okay? Transfer. If a patient has got prior hospitalization for the same condition in less than 1 year. Okay? If the patient has got other comorbid illnesses. A patient has a liver disease and comes with pneumonia, patient is a renal failure and comes with pneumonia, patient is a cardiac dysfunction and comes with pneumonia. Even if you are confident of treating, take one opinion. Okay? The WBC count is less than 4,000 or more than 20,000. A patient has complications like empyema, arthritis, endocarditis. If you are suspecting endocarditis. The patient has a failure of outpatient management, inability to take oral medications. Patient is continuously vomiting. Please transfer the patient to have dehydration. Okay? Patient has got tachypnea, tachycardia, hypotension. A patient with pneumonia coming with blood pressure less than 90 or 80 systolic, transfer the patient. Altered mental status. An X-ray chest shows not a single lobe involvement, multi-lobar involvement. Right? Don't take chances because they might behave weirdly later on. That is all. Any questions, please? I'm done. Any questions, please? Yes. As I said, if the patient has got allergic tendency, right? If the patient, as I told you, this lady would develop this lady person. So she says that there is seasonal variation. I have got rhinitis. Yes. Which respiratory infection? Which? If there is pneumonia, don't give. If you think that the patient has pneumonia and the patient is a normal
is just having that expectation just to insert the result and try to remove the possibility.
Not possible.
What type of complications at the time of inserting the result? Either what we have to take up resolutions by inserting the result. If the person goes on the
Most important thing is look at the first information first, right? You must ask your radiologist, look in a probe, as I said, and say where is the maximum amount of fluid from where each area. We mark for it. Okay, we mark for it. Only thing is what you have to do is keep atropine ready with you. Keep an atropine ready with you. Insert a needle from the area where he has marked. Try to withdraw slowly. Okay, if you are getting with the 5 cc, if you are getting yellow color fluid at that point of the time, let's say here where you are removing, then you can put in a 20 cc needle and withdraw it. Okay, but if you get a blood or if you get a dry line, don't let it. Right? But yes, your radiologist should mark the maximum amount of fluid collection in the area. You can do it. Or maybe on the X-ray. When you see an X-ray, more than half of the lung is filled with fluid. Posteriorly, just below the scapula, you put a literature to you. Next thing which is not much of vascularity. You go and vessels. So you go posteriorly, just below the scapula, where more than half of the lung is filled. They put in a small needle, right? Very small. I mean, 21 gauge needle. We saw that very short. पानी आया तो पता है, but 18 gauge needle 20 cc. Then you cannot put it, sir. Then you cannot put. That you have to refer it to a surgeon or a chest physician. But intercostal tube has different indications. Patient should have an umpire, right? If the patient has an umpire, then put it in intercostal tube. A simple fluid go intercostal tube, right? That's. I mean, a general practitioner cannot put it because you need an incision. You have to open up to the pleura. You have to see the pleura and then put it in.
ये अपनी मत સ્કીમમાં આવ્યા અને બહુ સારો સમય આપ્યો બધાને શાંતિથી સમજાયા તો મેડમ અમે પણ ગૌરવથી અમારા પર વિષય તમારો સવાલ સર અને આપણને દર વખતે સોંગ કોર્ડિનેશનનો પણ જે સહકાર મળે છે પ્લસ લેંગ્વેજ સિંગરથી પણ જે આપણને સહકાર મળે છે અને પડદા પાછળ કેશુભાઈ છે અને પડદાની આગળ ડૉક્ટર હસેન સાહેબ છે અને એસોસિએશનના તમામ કારોબારી સભ્યશ્રીઓ ડૉક્ટર મિત્રોનો ખૂબ આભાર. બીજો આપણે આપણી પરંપરા પ્રમાણે આગળના મહેમાનશ્રીને મોમેન્ટો આપીશું અને કારોબારીના સભ્યોને વિનંતી કરીશ કે સૌ આગળ
તાંત્રિક 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 જાઓ તાંત્રિક ડાયરેક્ટર કોઈ દિવસ પિક્ચરમાં ના આવે.
મેડમ ડરાવો